All right, guys. Sorry about that. Hopefully you guys can hear me now at home. I apologize. Helps when you click the right buttons, I guess. My bad. Just don't tell anybody I messed up, okay? Give me just 1 second here. Need like 20 hands pretty much to do this. Like I said, sorry about the intro, guys. You missed what I said earlier. Not that you want to hear me ramble on, but my name is Leo with Everyday Legacy Paranormal, also part of Road Trip Paranormal, and I'm one of the hosts of Cryptic Heartland Podcast. We're doing this live ghost hunt tonight for you guys. The gang is all out in western Kansas at the historic, notoriously haunted Santa Fe Depot. If you ever get the chance to go out there with us, I would highly recommend it. We're working on a couple of more of those coming up in the upcoming year for 2020. So tonight, like I said, you get to look behind while the group is out there. I'm kind of watching the cameras, seeing how things going here. Um, we'll run 5 cameras tonight at the actual depot. The gang is getting ready right now. They actually have a public investigation going on tonight, like we did the Nest City one a couple weeks ago, and they'll be chiming in throughout the night with me and stuff like that. So I'll go live as long as I can, as long as they want me to go live, and everything's activities, happening, because this place is definitely haunted. So give me just a second here, and we'll start getting some of the feeds up here. What I started to say was, like, on one point, make sure you like, subscribe, turn notifications on, hit that little bell in that upper corner. That way, when we go live, you go live with us, and then we'll definitely have some fun tonight. Give me just a second. I'm gonna get the cameras going up here for you guys, so people at home we can kind of start chiming in, or checking it out a little bit, see what's going on with the gang. So okay, so tonight, like I said, we're running 5 cameras, and it'll be fun. The place is good. I mean, it's gonna be packed with activity. So I'll move myself out of the way here in just a few seconds here. So while we wait, I'll give you kind of a rundown what the place looks like, what we're doing tonight. So take myself out of the mix here for just a minute, and then I'll show you guys. So just some cameras. This is the part I don't like. They're having trouble with some of the Wi-Fi out there, so I apologize. Takes just a minute to load. So this first angle you're looking at right here, this is actually out in one of the... Sorry, I paused because it looks like the camera's moving. So, whoa, that was interesting. I just saw something fly on screen, so I'm sure it's just dust, but we'll just see what it is. What you're looking at right now is from the actual theater area, where this is from the second stage, or second balcony, whatever, up at top. Looking down at the main stage. Some of the activity we had in the past here, we've heard a lot of whistling when there's nobody in the theater. We also caught whispers and voices, and for some reason, it is a children's theater at times. We do capture some children's voices in there too, and some movement, and yeah, it's pretty intense at times in there. We've caught some interesting names through, like, the spirit box sessions we've done, which we had the guests participate in, and they were holding the actual equipment at the time, so it wasn't as if it was something we did. But this is Dodge City, the Old West, and we did get the name of Wyatt through there. So now, were we talking to Wyatt Earp? Who knows? We can only speculate, but it seemed pretty convincing because we kept getting some activity with that name, and even some things like, as far as we started asking for other names, and of course Doc came through there. So anybody knows the Old West story with Wyatt Earp, Doc Holliday was one of his running mates. So who knows? I mean, was it them? Who knows? Like I said, we kind of hate to say yes, 100% it was, without any photographic evidence or video evidence, but it's pretty intriguing though, nonetheless. And the guests were having all the answers for us, like, through some of our equipment, and it was on it was actually during a live feed we did down there in the actual place at the time. So let me get a different camera here going up here. That's just one camera. I'll give you another angle of the actual theater here in just a second. Um, hopefully the cameras play nice tonight. They were acting up, like I said earlier. So this is a closer view of that same stage that we were seeing up from the second balcony. Um, we've seen full body apparitions walk across the stage, and just had a bevy of activity basically, and it's pretty interesting. I don't know, like I said, one of our things we did down there, Jason, I don't know if you guys can see on camera with my yellow mouse here, but I was standing it'd be the screen on the very right, and Jason was with guests here in the middle, and up in the left corner, there's some stairs behind the stage, but which at the time I didn't realize that's where the stairs were. To get on the stage, you come from behind, and next thing I know, I see Jason up there because the guest and myself saw a bunch of like lights and it looked like shadows and stuff. So I asked Jason if that was him over there, and he's like, no, he was just answering me. He goes, I'll go look, whatever. But then he came walking towards us, and he was right next to us actually, which surprised me because I could have sworn he got up on stage. He goes, so we turned the lights on, our flashlights, and I watched Jason physically walk around the back of the side, not where everybody, including all the guests, that saw this apparition, and it was definitely, we all thought it was Jason, but he was right next to us, so couldn't have been him. But yeah, this is, like I said, the second or the closer up of the stage here, and once we get some sound here going, I'll turn it on here in just a second so y'all can hear. Now, this building is, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 actual floors to this building, and it's a pretty good sized building. I'll put up the image of the building here in just a second so you can see how big this building is. Like I said, this is the Santa Fe Depot in Dodge City, and what it was is it's been used for many different things over the years. Also, obviously, it's a train station, but back in the day, it also was a hotel. The second floor, these are some of the rooms down there, long hallway. Not sure the lights are on for, but they'll turn them off. We'll have them make sure they turn them off so we can see better. But you can see clear right now during the day. During with the lights on, and we've seen full body apparitions walk in and out of these doors. We've had many voices in here and just different things, the typical, haunting things. Hopefully when they turn the lights off, we'll have a good image of everything, as good as it looks right now. Oh crap! I'm sorry. We'll start this all over. I'm just talking to myself, guys. I'm sorry. Nobody at home can see the cameras. My bad. Hang on. We'll start over again. I'm glad I looked over at the chat line. I apologize. Like I said, you'd think I've never done this before. I only do it every Sunday night, right? But the live ghost hunts, this is our second one we've done this way, and still getting the bugs worked out. As you guys saw, I missed the sound. So let me go back to the first camera with the second stage. I'm sorry, the second floor here, and I'll give you guys the cameras here in just a sec. I'll get them turned on. I thought I had transitioned over so you guys could see them, but nope, no such luck. All you see is my face on the camera. All right, here we go, guys. I'm moving it over right now. There you go. And in just a second here, you'll see, like I said, the actual second balcony view of the stage. Yeah, like I said, this is the second view of the stage from above. Like the camera moved again on us, 'cause I had him adjust it for me, and I don't know what's up there moving it, but I've noticed a couple of times it looks like it's not in the same spot. And as you can tell, there's nobody around. Where this is shooting from is a place we don't really like to take guests up there because you gotta remember this is a actual dinner theater now. They use it down in Dodge for, and basically up there is all the studio, like the sound equipment and stuff. So they have the big mixing board up there and things of that nature. But up here on the top, it's all painted black. That way, the people that are actually doing the plays and stuff, performing the theaters, can actually walk up around there, so to be undetected, with the lights down and stuff. So it's all painted black. Well, during one such investigation, we had one of our investigators almost take a tumble because at one end of the catwalk, we'll call it, there is no ledge. there was no railing and stuff like that. So for some reason, at the last second, we turned the flashlight on, and he was, I mean, literally inches away from falling about 30 feet. So yeah, it was pretty scary. So we try not to take people up there just for safety precautions, for the obvious reasons. But now, as soon as I say that, of course, tonight you'll see about 30 people up there roaming around. I'm like, hey guys, you guys are making me a liar out here. So let me switch. I'll get the next camera angle here. As I said, this is the second balcony view of that. And like I said earlier, I don't know if you guys heard me or not because of the audio difficulty at one point. This is where we caught whistles. We've caught shadow play up on top there. We've caught all kinds of different things. Yeah, I know the view is kind of weird because you got to remember we're shooting in infrared. That's why it's black and white like you see on TV. But the depth of that building, of that room, is pretty good size. And as far as the IR light can see, it makes it harder to pick up. But I'll show you this next angle, which is closer to the stage where I was talking about earlier about the apparition that we had seen, and you'll see it's a little cleaner, a little closer. You can actually see it better. Oh, come on. This camera's been fighting them all night so far. Whoa, let me zoom out of that, sorry. Yeah, last time we did this, live investigation with the Nest City investigation a few weeks ago. Somebody asked me if I could zoom in. I'm like, oh no, I can't zoom in quite yet. Well, yeah, I can. I apologize, as you guys just saw. If I just click on it, it does zoom in. But right here, we're looking at a close-up is the actual stage where we had the name Wyatt, and those chairs, kind of what's in camera. We had set up a spirit box session. We also just had a bunch of different things. We had dowsing rods, we had REM pods, we had all kinds of different equipment we were using to try to detect ghosts. Well, then we were getting the name Wyatt. Never would say Wyatt Earp. It just kept saying Wyatt. Then we got the name of Doc. Once again, not Doc. We don't know if it's Doc Holliday or Wyatt Earp, but one can only hope. This being Dodge City in the Old West, and they spent quite a few times there. One thing I do like about going to Dodge City is they're down on what's called Front Street. It used to be the old original shops, as far as what was back in the 1800s, and they have the original boardwalk, where you walk across, and it's wood paneling in most areas. But they've seen the apparition of Ed Masterson walking around. The locals have. And if anybody knows the whole story with Wyatt Earp, Doc Holliday, Bat Masterson, well, when they were down there, doing their marshal days, well, Ed Masterson was actually the marshal of Dodge City with his brother Bat. And during the infamous, bar fight, if anybody's seen any of the movies, Ed Masterson was shot and killed by, a couple of drunken assailants, basically, and he did get off a couple of his rounds of his own, and killed one of the assailants, if I remember right. But, see some lights going on there. They must be starting the actual investigation. So, but anyways, yeah, the locals down there have seen and heard, the footsteps on the boardwalk of, Ed Masterson walking around. Yeah, Chris is watching the live ghost hunt too. Yeah, you did get Warren. Warren's another name we get, in the building. Warren and Wyatt seem to be the main two of the males. And then here in a second, I'll show you where we've gotten a female's name in there before. We think it's a girl. Well, we know it's a girl. Her name is, for the longest time, it's either Elizabeth or Mary Beth. I'm pretty sure it's Elizabeth, but I was fortunate enough to hear during the actual original days when we went down there and investigated. Well, I've heard her talk to us, and she told us her name, but I definitely heard the Beth part of it and the second part. So, anybody at home watching, if this is your first time watching the actual live feed, you'll see the little green boxes pop up every now and then. What this is that is the actual motion detector. So it's kind of nice. As you can see, we have a couple of people on screen there. It's picking up the motion of them. So you'll get the little green boxes around them. Well, if we have a blank, nobody in that room, and all of a sudden we get some, green boxes, it's detecting some kind of motion. So who knows what. Just a second here. I'll turn on the sound so we can actually hear what they're saying. Let me go through the extra cameras here real quick here, and then we'll come back to since it looks like the investigation is beginning. One second here. Okay, this next view we're going to see here is I was talking about the other floors. This is going to be the second floor dressing room area with all the theater days. They use these. There's a bunch of doors on the side of this long hallway, and you'll see theater. Or that's where they go in and do their changing. And there's some dress rooms in there. There's the sound room, like I told you about. There's different rooms down this long hallway. Now, what's so special about this hallway is the fact that we've caught, full body apparitions walking in and out of doors. We've heard doors shut and slam, just different things. I actually chased something down the stairs, not too far from here. If I'm looking at the angle right, I want to say it's down at the very end of this hallway. And to the left, we heard a door slam, and I ran down there. And the thing that was really compelling about this night, when I did this chasing of this thing, was I opened the door. There's only one way out there, and it's a door. Oh, there's somebody there, right on cue. Nice. Oh, they turned the lights off. Thank you, guys. But anyways, I chased something down at the end of the hallway and opened. There was an outside exit door. That's the door we thought we heard open and close. Well, it happened to be raining that night. So I touched the door before I even pushed it open, which if somebody opened that door, it should have been rain all over that door. Well, there wasn't. So I don't know what ran where. We can never, debunk anything. It's just the fact that we caught it. And like I said, those green boxes, once again, if you're just joining us, those are the actual motion detectors of our cameras. So it's detecting the guys and gals moving around on that second floor. Let me switch cameras here. I'm going to show you a couple of more angles. We got 5 cameras total running. So far I've shown you 3. 2 in the theater, and then 1 down this hallway. What that long hallway that we were just in, what it leads to is this second story staircase. Now, what's so special about this staircase? We've seen a child multiple times. This is where we heard, the Mary Beth or Elizabeth. I don't know why it's not clicking. Oh, hang on. Having trouble connecting, which is kind of fun because there we go, finally. We've had plenty of times where our equipment has malfunctioned here. So the fact I couldn't even get the camera to load it for a minute there kind of concerned me because I'm doing a live feed here, but also doesn't surprise me. So we shoot towards these staircases because, like I said, she used to roam up there all the time for whatever reason. We've heard her voices up there. In the beginning, it was pretty freaky because you hear this child's voice up there, knowing there's nobody up there or even a child in the whole building. But yeah, nonetheless, we'll see. Here come some people. They're coming down that same hallway we were just in, I believe. Oh, maybe they're coming from behind the camera because I don't see them now. They'll be here in just a second in full frame. But up on that actually the 3rd floor, well, if you want to be politically correct, it's actually the 4th floor. Up the staircase is where she likes to roam around. We've caught her voices there many times. We've seen her. It used to be creepy because before they did all the remodeling in here, you used to be able to see more of the staircase from behind it and look up, and you could see this little apparition looking right down at you, her eyes glowing. But it was fun. It's part of the reason why we do all this investigating. Yeah, Tammy, I seen your comment. Yeah, the place is incredible to investigate. There's, like I said, there's 4 floors of this place. The place we're on right now at the staircase, this used to be part of the old hotel part. What they would do is across the street where like I said, they saw Ed Masterson. They would used to have a couple hotels. Like, they're still there, but they're turning into some office buildings. They would go over there, and it used to be kind of like where the party district, basically, where, you see the saloons and all that stuff, the infamous Long Branch Saloon, things like that. People would be over there drinking, and then if anything happened, they would sometimes, shootout would happen. The shootout would happen, gunfight, and they used to bring the people that would get shot. They try to get them out of that area quick, so, so for the tourist people, we'll say, that way they don't spoil their fun. And they would bring them over across the street to this hotel. So there's, they lay them on the floor or wherever they could find room for them, basically, and try to save their lives. But when we first started going here too, we've caught gunshot sounds in there. Not surprising. It is, like I said, Dodge City, the Old West. So, but yeah, this is one of my favorite places to go. Not only because I'm actually from Dodge City, it's from my hometown, but the fact is, the place is incredible. It's huge. Let me switch another angle real quick here. This is our fourth camera angle, and then our final one is going to be the fifth one. I'm trying to remember where it was at. I don't remember. 1 second. Okay. So this is still on the same floor. What we're going to be looking at here is one of the dressing rooms, one of those rooms off of that long hallway we were just looking at. In here, we've had so much success that we've had anything from, obviously the obvious sounds, the knocks and stuff on command, but we have a lot of voices, both, disembodied and also through the spirit boxes. It's pretty crazy. I don't know. I've had many a guest get pretty freaked out in some of these rooms. Now, you're looking at on, obviously in infrared, it looks pretty bright in there, happy, nothing too crazy, right? But when you're walking around and it's pitch black up there, you can mess with your mind a little bit, But yeah, they've had one thing that was pretty entertaining about this. One of these rooms, this may be the actual room, I can't tell. Yeah, I see the couches. There's couches in there. Yeah, okay. I think this is the room. There's an intercom system that's built into the wall, obviously, and that's how they radiate up around, up and down the building over the years. Well, one particular night, it's been shut off, I guess, for a while now. I don't know if it even works anymore, but for whatever reason, it just came on out of nowhere, and you could hear somebody talking through it. Well, who that was, it wasn't any of us. Who knows? Yeah, it just came on, and it was a voice that none of us recognized, and yeah, so be it. Now, every time we go to this location, one of our good friend, and if you watch the podcast, that we do every Sunday night from 7 to 9 on this same channel, one of our buddies calls in from Dodge City. His name is Carl. We refer to him as Captain Carl. What he is to us is he's a good friend over the years. He was the one that the very first time we've ever been in there, we got to go in with him because he was one of the maintenance guys, or the maintenance guy, to keep the place up. The upkeep of the place, and he basically had all the most of the stories because he was there more than anybody, because during the day there's hardly anybody in there. But now they've done a lot of remodeling over the years, like I've mentioned earlier, and they've actually now put some of the city offices upstairs on the second floor, which used to be an unfinished part of the hotel area, but now they're all up there. But Carl would be here by himself a lot of times in this building. And on the chat here, one of the guys mentioned Warren. Well, in this basement area that's unfinished, that's the basement, the very bottom floor. There is he did a lot of work down there. Carl would. That's where all the the blowers are, the electrical units and stuff like that. He would mention a couple of spirits down there he encountered quite often, where the first time he did it kind of freaked him out because he walked in there and he was working on some machine or something. He put his tools down, walked to a different part of that basement, came back, his tools were gone. He's like, where did I put those tools? He's thinking he's losing his mind because all of a sudden they're gone. And I want to say they ended up on a different, either part of the basement or, on a different floor that he wasn't even working on yet. So kind of freaked him out a little bit. He called one of them mischievous, but then there's another one not too far from there where it's right underneath the staircase of the basement area that used to be pretty darker and heavier. It was pretty freaky down there. We used to refer to him as the malevolent one down there, but never really caused any kind of harm. It's just the fact that he was pretty, I don't want to say ornery or what, but yeah, he was a little different down there. There's like I said, at least two entities down there. Was going to say one area down there is we always take guests in a certain part down in the basement because there's another spirit that runs around pretty freely, and he looks like a younger kid. But the first time I went there, I thought it was actually I have a son who now is at this age is 12, but at that time he was probably like 5, if even that. And basically it looked like him, and I was freaking me out because I saw him, and he had tugged on one of our investigators. She had a hood on that night. It tugged on the back of her hood, and you could hear it on our recorders and everything. Basically, you hear this thing running, and you hear after she says, "Oh my God, something just yanked to my hood," and he's kind of mimicking and talking everything we're saying. This guy, whatever this entity is, a playful one we'll call him. He was mimicking what we were saying on camera. All right. So now that you've seen all the 5 cameras we're running tonight, I'm going to just kind of rotating different cameras. We'll see where the action's at. Let me get out of this main area here. Every now and then I may have to reboot the system because just for the cameras, not the podcast, because we're getting some. Like I said, this place is gigantic. Let me show you real quick here while I'm thinking about it. Give you an idea how large this place is. This is some pictures from the outside of the building. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to take this off real quick here. This is part of the building right here. You're going to see this is one area of it. And then that's just one side of it. Okay, that doesn't look too big, right? Nothing crazy. But when I take this main one off here, give me 1 second here. I'll take that one off and show you what the building, how long it is. It's pretty good sized here. 1 second here, people. So now what you're looking at now, this is the full length building. It's coming on screen here in just a second. This is the other part of the building. The picture I had snapped in the first screen, that was the left side of the building, and then this is the rest of the building. Like I said, it's an old train depot is what it is. There's quite a few of them across the state of Kansas. I know there's some up in, I think it's Abilene, Atchison, or something like that. I want to say it has one too. And there's some out like in western Kansas. What it is they're all named Santa Fe depots, and they connected the railroad systems back in the 1800s and the late 1800s, basically during the cowboy days. They would run cattle that way, all different things. Do the train systems, passengers, you name it. Hey, Lena, thanks for joining tonight. Now, Lena's pretty much our resident psychic medium, however she likes to refer to herself, but she's been in that building many times with us also too, and she's pretty spot on what she reads in that place because she's picked up on pretty much some of the things I told you about earlier with the child and the male spirits that like to run around. All right, let me get this back up here, and I'll get you guys some video feed here. Like I said, we are live all night as much as we can, as long as things are happening. And I just saw something on camera. I wish I had it pulled up already. Let me get this pulled up here 1 second. Let me get some sound here for you guys, and we'll listen in if we can hear what they're saying. Yeah, Lena said Leavenworth has one too, and a Santa Fe depot. I'd say there's quite a few of them. I want to say there's not even just the state of Kansas even. There's some out in like New Mexico and things of that area too, if I remember right, because I think down there was Arizona and Tombstone. Let me get some sound going here for you people at home, and we can kind of see what they're saying. Well, I think the sound is on, it looks like, but it may not be loud due to the depth. Oops. I can hear them. There they go. I can hear them a little bit on camera. They're just talking right now, kind of to themselves. I'm laughing at their faces because some of their eyes are glowing. Hope you guys can't see it yet. I apologize. 1 second. There we go. So, looks like they're in the middle of a session right now. They may be too far from a camera, so we may not be able to pick up their audio quite yet. But this is live, so they're investigating currently. Once again, we do plan on coming back to this place. We'll be going in, I want to say, in January. Every time we go to do this location in Dodge City, it sells out instantly. We did have luxury one night of doing 3 nights in a row, and we sold out every time. And the guests had a good time. as we always do. Let me see if I can hear them, because I don't hear any sound right now. I want to see if I can get a different camera here where I can get more people. Let's go to the second floor here and see if we can hear them, if anybody's saying anything. I thought I saw some people down there. Then they must be in one of the rooms. Let me change location here real quick here. We'll find somebody. Hope there's somebody on camera now. Here we go. See if we can listen in what they're doing. Looks like they do have a couple of props on the stairs right there. They have looks like a Boo Bear, which detects not only EMF but also can interact with something if something touches it. Now, I see they may have a, I can't tell what they have up there. I know they put up a special, some type of keyboard also too, where the sound happens, we'll hear it. I did hear it earlier when they were testing it out. They thought they got Elizabeth to play with them. Just kind of watching and see if I can get anybody to talk to us. I'm not sure why we can't get any sound from them yet. Maybe they're just not talking loud. Let me see if I can get something better here, sound-wise. I'm not sure if my eyes are just playing tricks on me, but I saw a couple of things in the background. Looked like something stuck his head out behind that door behind the guy on camera. Yeah, I'm not sure why. Can you people at home hear me at least? Trying to listen real quick here, see if I can hear myself. For you guys. And let me see if I can kind of get them to talk to us. Give me just a second. Let me see if I can get them to interact with us, people at home. I'm not sure why they're not talking very loud. Let me switch different angles, see if I can get these guys to communicate with us. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. I'm having a hard time hearing them guys. Let me see if I can get one of them to talk to us. 1 second here. Well, all right. Let me try something real quick here while they're working out the kinks behind the scenes over there. I'm gonna see if I can reboot real quick here on the actual cameras. Maybe we can get some of that sound going here. See if that helps a little bit. Give me just a second here. apologize for the delay here. Trying to see what they're doing, why we can't hear them. Oh, give me 1 second. I think I know what is the deal here. See if we can't get them to talk to us. Nothing like trying to fix stuff on the air, right? And it could be on some of these cameras. They're not talking close to it. Unfortunately for us. Excuse me. See if I can bring him back in here. See if we can get hold of him now. Here, 1 second. They're kind of milling around right now. They're not really saying much. Let me see if I can get a different camera up here that will. Hopefully they're talking. Not sure as to why they're not saying anything. Nothing like dead air during the middle of a ghost hunt, right? Sorry about that, people. Just trying to adjust the sound quality in here. Well, like I said, it looks like they're in the middle of an EVP session, but I can't get them to. Can't pick them up on camera for whatever reason. Just trying to go through the different cameras, see if we can get anybody to talk to us. So they're having some kind of activity because they're all kind of standing around in certain areas. Like I said, this is one of the hot spots that they normally go to because of the fact that the little girl has been known to be, like I said, make herself known right up and down this hallway. In particular, right next to these staircases. Um, Up and down the staircase, up on the fourth floor. I've been kind of watching. I don't see any action on the actual bear. It's not moving anything. Up on the very, very top, there is, like I said, they placed a specialized keyboard up there, so if she goes up there, she'll step on it or can touch it itself. I did hear it go off earlier when they were testing it out. Like I said, this is prior to the podcast going live, but now it's just kind of nothing's. They're not talking right now. I'm not saying something. And if they are, they're real quiet about it. See if I can get a hold of one of them to talk to us at least. That way I can make sure the cameras are picking up the sound. Maybe they can kind of give us a rundown too of what's happening, if they've had any kind of activity yet. Just gonna kind of go to the cameras here and see if we can get anybody or anything. Because even though there's no actual, guests or investigators in there, we may get some disembodied voices as I flip through cameras. Oh, so I'm losing some of the. They're having trouble with Wi-Fi now, every now and then. And this could be some of the reason why we may not be able to hear them. Just kind of making sure nothing's on our end to make sure we didn't lose anything. Seen a couple of people join us real quick here that are new to the podcast here. What we're doing, like I said, we're doing a live ghost investigation tonight. I'm here, at the Cryptic Heartland Studios while the gang is out in western Kansas at the Santa Fe Depot in Dodge City, Kansas. That we've been there many times. That's why we always continuously go back there because we've had such great success as a team investigating by ourselves. Plus, the public investigations have gone phenomenal. What you're looking at on the screen right now is the actual theater part of this. Where they still today do actual. They have to do dinner in a theater. You can go and watch plays being put on. This area right here, they're actually on the stage, and we've caught the names of Wyatt and also Doc through some of our spirit box sessions, through some of our equipment that we use to detect any kind of ghostly apparitions or anything. And now with this being Dodge City, like I said, you never know if am I talking to actually White Earp or possibly. Sorry, I saw something flash across the screen there. I don't know what that was. In front of the gang, I don't know if they even saw that. But We've also caught the name Doc through there, which anybody know the story, Doc Holiday and White Earp, were friends, and they had the infamous, shootout at the OK Corral out in Tombstone, Arizona. But I'm not sure if that's who we were talking to that's on that particular evening, but it was during one of the public investigations, such as tonight, and the guest actually had saw the interaction with it. They were getting hits through things such as dowsing rods through the REM pods. We're getting intelligent answers. We were hearing it through the spirit box, and we heard some of it through our own with our own ears, basically audible ears. There's a lot of disembodied voices. Trying to see if they're doing them with the flashlights, because I see a bright light in the right middle of the stage. I'm not sure what that is. That I've never noticed until now. So maybe one of the REM pods are going off, or it could be the flashlight they're using. They seem to be fixated on this one particular spot because they've been there this whole time during this rotation, so they must be having some kind of activity. Let me see if I can get somebody else here. Any kind of... I've asked... This is a different angle of the same stage area. It's just taken from the actual second balcony. Which up there, it's basically you're going to have your... it's going to be where the area where the sound box is, or where the mixing board is for the shows. Your sound room. It's going to also have the catwalks up there, which I told the story earlier in the podcast that we had one of our investigators almost fall about 30 feet because it's pitch black up there. Everything's painted black because of during the show they don't want to be people to be distracted by movement up on top. So, but we were investigating one night there, and for whatever reason, last second we turned the flashlight on, and one of our investigators, was, like I said, a mere inches away from falling 30 feet. So luckily we turned the flashlights on. And during public investigations, we quit taking people up there for reasons like that, just for safety reasons and the obvious reasons. But no, even though it's a public investigation, we've had some weird things go on there. Not just in this particular room, all over the place. At times it's been kind of maybe not so noticeable to the actual public, the guest, but some of the investigators that we've had in different parts of the building. There's some areas that get a little darker at times, as far as who we're talking to, some of the interaction with the actual entities. We've had some weird things go on there, things getting thrown at us, and some darker shadows moving in the dark, which didn't quite fit the normal trend. So trying to monitor the chat line too. People were asking some things and saying some things, so yeah, if you guys see anything on the cameras, let me know. I can let the investigators know what's happening. Let me see if I can get something else here. We're going to just kind of float around continuously. Now I'm noticing on the second stair, camera, I saw a box up there where the motion sensors were going off. I don't know if there's investigators up on that floor, in that particular area. If not, we may be picking up on something that they can't see quite yet. what I was noticing a minute ago is you see on the second, about halfway up the stairs. Oh, hang on. We got Jason calling in. 1 second here, guys. Hey, what's up, Jason? Can you hear us?
Yeah,
How's it going, sir?
good. It's going.
Good.
Already having some activity out here in the rooms and stuff, but couldn't get the cameras to get the Wi-Fi in there very well.
Oh, I gotcha. Um,
Any camera?
we're having trouble. Like, we can't tell if the sound's going or not on the cameras. We haven't heard any. I don't know if people are just not close to the cameras or not. We see people near them. I'm just kind of curious to see. And by the way, you're live on the air. Um,
Yeah, no problem.
just trying to figure out if make sure we got excuse me sound quality good. Where are you particularly
Okay.
at in the building right now for the viewers at home?
I am up in the hallway with the dressing rooms.
Okay. I thought I saw you there one time. Um,
Yeah. But all the cameras are going right.
yeah, the cameras are fine. Yeah, everything looks good on camera. We're seeing, some of our investigators from Road Trip Paranormal and also Everyday Legacy Paranormal. We see them walking the halls and testing some of the
Sweet.
equipment out, and the guests are too. But we just can't tell if we can't hear any sound. And
Okay.
I didn't want to bother you during your rotation, but we were just kind of seeing
No.
if we could have somebody come up to one of the cameras and just kind of give us a quick test run to make sure everything's
All
audibly.
right. Well,
So
I next to the one in the hallway.
okay,
It is camera one.
let me find you real
Camera.
quicker. Okay, I can get you on screen here 1 second, sir.
I'm on my knees if you have to ask.
For those that know, Jason, maybe it might not be the tallest of investigators, but he's a good person. Give
I
me.
am. I am. I'm kind of knelt down with my flashlight up in the air just to. And I'm right in front of the camera, so.
Okay, give me just 1 second. I'm gonna see if I can pick you up here. I'm gonna
Okay.
unmute you for 1 second on the phone, and we're gonna see if we can pick you up on the actual camera. 1 second.
Okay.
Looks like he's still talking, but I don't hear him. Were you talking to us through the camera, Jason?
Are you, can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Do me a
Yes.
favor.
Yes.
Just keep talking. Yeah, we
Is
don't.
it muted on your screen?
It didn't look like it. No, it shows that it's not. Not quite sure
Okay.
why. What we got going on
Well, I
here.
got the Wi-Fi. Yeah, I got the Wi-Fi going from my phone, so um, everything should be working. Maybe